Hey, hope you're having a good day. It's like 8 a.m. I just finished a session with a client, and I was thinking about how it's very easy when you get injuries or any setbacks to almost quit on yourself and to let those setbacks completely throw you off from your longer term goal. And I've had so many injuries over the years, and the biggest thing that I've learned is to focus on what you can do, not to focus on what you can't do. Because for me anyway in the past, if I focused on what I can't do, I feel very defeated and then I almost just want to quit on myself. So I know that if I reframe it and think, okay, I'll focus on what I can do, then it's very empowering. And I'll give you a practical example, right? So when I was younger, when I was like 16, 17, I had a hairline fracture in my L4 in my lower back, and the lower back pain was like really bad to the point where I was using diphene. Um, and I remember one day I took diphene on an empty stomach, and combined with the lower back pain, I also felt awful from using that. And at that point, it was kind of just like an awakening of like, oh my God, I need to do something. And at the time, so obviously I was early on in my journey and I was trying to figure things out. But the lower back pain was so bad that even twisting or even walking at times was like extremely painful. So what I did to start off my journey, I literally did like Pilates for like 2 months, and that gave me like a foundation of building up some lower back strength. And then I started going to the gym, and I gradually was figuring things out. But this was like 10 years ago, back in like uh, 2012. So that's a practical example of how when I was younger, doing the Pilates was the kickstart to gradually strengthen up my lower back. But recently, I actually I sprained my left wrist doing a Muay Thai session like 2 months ago, and like I was doing push-ups and stuff no problem before that. But then after I sprained my wrist, even putting weight on my hand was so sore. I couldn't even do like one push-up. And over the last 2 months, I've had to again reframe it and be like, okay, what can I do? So for pushing movements, I can't do any push-ups, but what I can do is I can do like a dumbbell shoulder press, and that'll allow me to keep my strength while I rehab my wrist in the meantime. And it's been a very slow process over the last 2 months. It's still not back to 100%, but I've been focusing on doing doing that dumbbell shoulder press. That's helped me, keep some strength there and build strength. And then in the meantime, I've also been doing some rehab work for my wrist. So just general exercises like that with a band. And most importantly, because it's a joint issue, I know that they just take time much longer, in my experience, than a muscular strain. So I've just given it a lot of time off, um, and it's almost back to 100% now. I've each week I've gone back up slowly. I've literally went from 2 reps on a push up, 4 reps, 6 reps, 8 reps, and then I was able to do like 10 reps yesterday. Um, but it's still not there, so it's just a very gradual thing of like seeing how many reps I can do in a session. And then like yesterday I did 10, and I was like, okay, I could probably do more, but the pain right now in my wrist is about kind of like a 5 or 6 out of 10. So I don't want to push that too high. So that's just a couple of different examples of how you can reframe the position that you're in, and even if you are injured, there's always something that you can do. So it's just about finding a substitute for whatever area that is injured, and focus on even one or two different exercises that you can do, and then try and progress those exercises as much as possible. Because by the time you have, maybe spent a month or two with progress in those exercises, the injury or the issue that you had has probably now healed up, especially if you've been doing some rehab or massage or whatever it may be. So, yeah, I just wanted to shoot that one because I know how easy it is to just feel really, run down and defeated when you get an injury, and feel like, oh, like I pretty much like I'm doing nothing now, and I'm being unproductive, and it can be a very like negative, spiral that that is easy to get into, So hope that video was helpful. What's your experience been like with injuries? What do you do to keep yourself on track even when you're going through like a challenging time? Interested to know. Drop a comment down below.